Right now, an update on a deadly shooting out of Hesston, Kansas yesterday. The sheriff, T. Walton, has just begun speaking. We'll listen in.
And I will do that now. Renee Benjamin, 30-year-old female. Joshua Higbee, 31-year-old male. Brian Sadowski, 44-year-old male. And the shooter, Cedric Ford, 38-year-old male. We tried to get as much patient information that we could since the last time I seen you. I only have updates from Newton Medical Center right now. Newton Medical Center saw 6 patients. 3 were treated and have been released. 1 was transferred to Wesley Medical Center in Wichita, and 2 currently remain at Newton Medical Center, and they're in good condition. Throughout this period of time, we have seen a huge law enforcement response. And just to give you some of the numbers, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation has 45 agents working this case. The Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco, they have 15. Federal Bureau of Investigation, they have 45. Kansas Highway Patrol has 46. And we have multiple officers and support personnel from the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Newton Police Department, the Hesston Police Department, North Newton Police Department, Burton Police Department, Wichita Police Department, the Harvey County Sheriff's Office, and the Sedgwick County District Attorney's Office. With that, I'd like to introduce you to Kirk Thompson, the KBI Director.
This has been a very difficult 24 hours for all of us. And I first want to say that our thoughts go out to those who have suffered so much during this incident and to the whole community of Hesston. But I want to make sure that we pass along that we have a lot of work yet to do in regard to this case. And we ask your understanding as we do the very difficult work in determining what happened and why. This investigation will take many more hours and many more days. And I want to assure the community that as we get answers, we'll get the answers out to the community, but it is going to take time. And I also want to express our appreciation to the entire law enforcement community. Everyone came together and did a commendable job in a very difficult circumstance. Came together in typical Kansas law enforcement fashion, and we will get the job done. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Sheriff Walton.
And with that, I'll bring it over to FBI agent in charge, Mr. Eric Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, on behalf of the FBI as an organization, we want to offer our sympathies to the families of the victims, to this community, and also to our law enforcement partners. This has been a difficult time for everyone involved. I want to emphasize that the excellent working relationship that we have with our law enforcement partners is why we were able to respond so forcefully to this incident. In addition to the assets listed by the sheriff, from a national perspective, the FBI has additional evidence response teams en route to assist and additional resources on standby. That includes command post personnel to work this scene. Currently, 11 of the 14 victim interviews have been conducted by the FBI. Remaining victims are not able to be interviewed at this time. Our evidence response team has been embedded with KBI personnel, and we currently have 5 teams involved in evidence recovery. Agents inside XL Industries are processing the crime scene, photographing and marking and collecting evidence. The exterior of XL Industries is mostly processed, and evidence collection continues. Again, on behalf of this community, the FBI offers its sympathies, and we will be here until this task is completed. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to the sheriff.
Thank you. Additional resources and links for our community are available on the City of Newton website, and that's at www.newtonkansas.com. On that website, there'll be resources that people that are affected by this tragic event can take advantage of. I want to remind everyone that if there are tips out there, additional information that we can use, we ask those people to call the 1-800-CALL-FBI number. Again, that's the 1-800-CALL-FBI number. This will be the last press briefing from law enforcement. Unless other information comes up that's significant in value, then I'll call another one. Right now, it's not anticipated. That one will be happening in the near future. I also want to introduce the Hesston City Manager.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Gary Emery, City Administrator of Hesston. First, let me say that on behalf of the Mayor, Dave Kaufman, and the City Council of the city, they pass along their condolences, as well as the city staff, along with the city staff, to all of the families impacted by this tragedy. This morning, the mayor and I took a call from President Obama, who asked us to share his best wishes and condolences to those as well. This is obviously an event, a tragedy that none of us in this room would ever imagine happening in our community. Certainly not in a community such as Hesston. And this will be something that we will be involved in now in recovery phase for the coming months as we transition from investigation to recovery. And the city's role in that process will be to help heal, recover, be there for families when we can, and help with the XL family when needed. And I do have some items here that I'd like to cover before we close. I'd like to announce that there are counseling services available for anyone in the area by calling 211. Prairie View in Newton is also putting together an offering of services, and its crisis line is available 24/7 at 800-362-0180. The Hesston Community Foundation has established a fund to benefit first responders and nonprofit community services responding to the incident, and there were many of those. We understand that there is a GoFundMe account that has been established, but those donations, I would like to reiterate, are not tax deductible, and we encourage you to use caution before making contributions to that account. And then I would like to read some comments from Ben Proctor, the superintendent of Hesston Schools, as he asked me to share the following message. Our hearts go out to everyone impacted by this tragedy. Hesston USD 460 has the most amazing staff who work with all our kids every day and provide as much normalcy and routine as possible. Our students have been tremendous troopers throughout the school day, throughout this event, and we are so proud of them. We are also extremely thankful for our local law enforcement and first responders who showed incredible courage throughout this period of time. Thank you.
That will be it. We won't be taking any questions at this time.
Can you identify the police chief suspect?
How long is the plant closed, please? Can you tell us anything at all, sir? You have a lot of media here today with a lot of questions.
So we just heard from the sheriff there about the tragedy in Hesston and Newton, Kansas from yesterday. A lot of developments coming forward today, that the suspect had a protection order served to him yesterday, not long before the shootings began. You hear the sheriff there mentioning the 4 victims, a 30-year-old woman and 2 30-something-year-old men, a 31-year and a 34-year-old, and then, of course, the 34-year-old suspect. We'll continue to monitor this. We have team coverage, folks, out of central Kansas. This is an image of, you heard the sheriff call him Cedric Ford. We had been saying Cedric Ford. I am not sure of the pronunciation of that, but a man out of Miami with a sordid past, a criminal history in the state of Florida, and in the possession of what appears to have been a semi-automatic rifle and an assault rifle and a pistol. So we will continue to follow this and have much more for you coming up on later newscasts on our website, all of our different outlets for getting news to you. This is video from the scene here as we wrap things up from this press conference on this afternoon. We're on the air at 4 o'clock with the Now KC. We'll see you then. For now, this is Krista Dubell for 41 Action News.